So when we say you need a plan, what is career planning? Career planning is a practical strategy that allows you to determine what are your skills, what are your interests, for you to be able to set proper goals and then action those goals so that you can reach them. So you have to look at what are your skills that you have, what are experiences that you've had. You also have to look at what are the goals that you've set yourself, short, medium, and long term. You have to look at what are the things that you are interested in. Do those things work with what the market out there wants? Sometimes the answer is no. There's no job like that anymore, or those jobs are not in high demand. Then you have to choose something else. You have to prioritize what it is that you are going to grow first about your skills. And then you have to put in a plan of action. Thank you very much. So, why is it important that we do career planning? If you don't plan, your dreams stay dreams. But the minute you put it down on paper, you get a clear direction of where it is that you want to go. It helps you to assess your situation so that you can say, these are the things that I know. This is my knowledge. This is my experience. And these are the gaps that I see, that I have. And then how am I going to reach and fill those gaps so that my dream can be fulfilled? Thank you very much. Next slide, please, Tabu. So, if I say to you, you now have to make a plan for yourself and develop an action plan for your career, how on earth do you do that? Just excuse me for a minute, Mommy, I believe. First and foremost, you have to assess your options. First things first. You have to find out what are the things that you are interested in. What will you be good at? What type of career will you be good at? You have to look at the job that you want to obtain and say to yourself, how many hours a day will I need to work? What is the company's culture where I can move to? Do I want to work for that company? Will it take me a long time to get to that workplace every day, my commute time? List your current skills. What are the skills that you have, knowledge and experience that you have? And what is it that you do not have? Because by listing what you have, you will immediately know what is it that you still need to obtain to be able to move into a specific career. Then set goals and actions. Set yourself small, short, medium, and long-term goals. Excuse me, can we go back to the previous slide, please? Thank you. So that you can set proper goals for yourself so that you can achieve your outcomes. And also you have to put down time frames for yourself as to when do you want to achieve all your different goals so that you can understand that some of them will be achieved in short periods and then you have your longer goals so that you can complete your full picture of your development and growing into a specific career. And then most importantly, if you develop an action plan and you don't check yourself and visit that plan regularly, then you don't focus. It is a living plan. It's a plan that you have to work at every single day. It's not a one-stop solution. You have to constantly check yourself, and sometimes you have to redirect yourself so that you can now say, okay, this is where I've been. This is what I need to change. This is not realistic anymore. And then change your plan. It grows with you. Next slide. So, how do I structure this plan so that it makes sense to me? I first and foremost have to have a personal overview of myself. That must be honest and realistic. What are the attributes? What is it that I'm bringing to my career or to my possible career for the future? What educational background do I have? Do I have a matric? Do I have skills courses? Do I have qualifications? What pieces of paper can I prove to show that I am the right candidate for this job, or that I have what is needed to be able to perform a specific duty. Other than that, you also need your employment history. You normally set your history from current backwards to where you started your career. And then what is very important, and you often see that people do not add this into their employment history, is what are the skills that you obtained while working in a specific career or in a specific job. Thereafter, you need to set perfect goals, short, medium, and long-term goals for all the things that you still want to achieve. You also have to look at what are the skills that I currently have? What are the experience that I currently have? And then from there, you have to say, right, if this is what I have, how am I going to train and develop myself further so that I can reach my short, medium, and long-term goals? And then you have to create a clear step-by-step action plan with deadlines and end results so that you can reach them. By the end of 2021, I would have completed my certificate in project management, and I will obtain my diploma or my certificate in project management in November of that year, and it's going to cost me so much money to get there. Never forget the money part, because sometimes you've got the dream, but you don't have the finances to complete it. Next slide. So we have another question. Are you happy in your job? Sure. 3 people said yes. You must please go and vote if you want to. Are you happy in your job? Next slide. Another polling question is, do you think you have enough skills for your future job? That's a very important question to ask, because this is introspection on yourself as to whether or not you know what it is you want to become and whether or not you meet the requirements of that specific job. Right, it doesn't appear as if people want to answer this question. Can we please move on? Hamu, I'm not seeing the slides. We're seeing you.
Hi, Masego. Can I ask you to please switch off your camera? Masego, thank you.
Can we please have the slides back? Right, while we're waiting for the slides to come back online, the question that you have to ask yourself at this stage is, where are you currently in your career? And where do you want to go next? So some of the things that you have to ask yourself, and I just want to remind Hamu that we cannot see the slides. Ask yourself, we're looking at a picture of somebody. Okay, it appears as if we've got some technical glitches here.
Hi, Neptula, can you please ask you to please switch off your camera?
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Yes, and also
My apologies. My apology. Oh God.
It's a perfect Wednesday today. So there's some more people that need to switch off their cameras. So when you ask yourself, where are you currently in your career and where do you want to go? You have to ask yourself things such as, why do I want to work for this company? What is your dream job? What motivates you? Why do you want to leave your current job? Because those are very, very good questions to ask yourself to help focus you on your career and where you want to go. Right. And for us to grow our careers, we need to change. Change, ladies and gentlemen, is the only constant that we have. Change is a very scary thing. Can we ask that everybody please put their video off? Change is a very scary thing. And when it comes to your career, that can be even more scary for you. So don't run away when you see that you have to make changes to your career and to everything about you. Rather ask yourself, is there anything about my career that I can fix? Is there anything that I can add to my skill set? Maybe I need to repair some relationships before I can move on. And then lastly, while expanding on your working and professional development, how are you going to develop yourself going forward? So, something else except for change that you have to really look at is your finances. Can you afford it? Sometimes to follow your dream, you need to take up a pay cut. Sometimes that's it. I want to follow that career, but I'll have to start at the bottom and move myself up again. I need to be financially prepared to be able to start from the bottom again. I also need to look at what is it that I expect from my salary going forward. What do I need to save? Do I need to save money so that I can start from the bottom up again? Especially if you've been working for some time. Then you first save, you first get your finances in order, and then you make the necessary changes so that you can move forward. So you need to evaluate what you can offer. I just once again want to say to Hamu and Tabu, we cannot see the slides at the moment. As soon as you can get them back online, please do so. So evaluate what you can offer. You have to stand out. You need to be able to sell yourself. You need to tell the people out there, here I am. This is my skill set. These are the experiences that I have. And you have to tell them why you are the most suitable candidate for a specific job. Especially sell yourself with your transferable skills. And we will look at transferable skills in a minute. And you also have to say to yourself is, sometimes the name of a position is not really what it is. Sometimes you have to research what this position really is so that you can see, is this really what I want? It's not always what the name says. You have to be very, very selective and careful. So you need to figure out what it is that you want to become. You need to say to yourself, what would be my dream job? What would be the salary that I would want? How many hours do I want to work in this job? What is it that what will make me happy? Knowing that about 80 to 90% of what you do in a job is not very nice. There's 10 to 20% of what you do in a job that is very exciting. So you have to ask yourself those questions. What do you know about this job? The title should not be the reason why you want to take on this job. There should be much, much more to it than that. And then you need to prioritize how are you going to get to that specific growth that you need to fill out a specific job. Sometimes what you think your career involves is not so, and you might find that it includes long hours working all by yourself, and you might not want to do that. So you need to act instead of just analyze. It's time to take control of your own career and your plan. And you need to do that by actually looking at the growth that you want to obtain, moving to a specific position. Sometimes there are no promotional opportunities available for you. And in cases like that, volunteer, act in that position. Question that person that's in that job. Ask them pertinent questions as to what it is that they are actually doing. What is it that they do? I have found that sometimes when you are promoted into a position or you are part of a specific job, that what you think it is and what it really is not the same. Sometimes the job looks very romantic and exciting, and then it is a high-stress job. You need to test the water before you jump in. It might be that it's very hot or very cold in there. Don't just jump in. First, do proper research and get the right information before you make the change. From there, the question is, now I've got some more skills. I've developed myself. So how do I become more promotable? How do I get promoted? You have to actually ask. Tell people, you know what? I've got aspirations. I want to get ahead. I want to get to that place. Tell people that you are in the market to be promoted. It's not always clear. You can't read it on a person's face. You must physically tell them, you know what? I've got aspirations for that position. I've done all these courses and I've got this experience. How do I move from here to that specific place? Secondly, you need to back yourself up. You need to be able to sell yourself. You need to tell the world out there, this is me. This is the skills that I have. This is the experience that I have. Choose me. You need to be able to sell yourself in a specific position. Be yourself. If you don't have the experience for a specific position, you might just have the qualifications. There are many things that you might have that can help you get that job, but just don't lie. Be very clear about what you are going to bring to this specific position. Sometimes when you grow professionally, you move horizontally and not linearly. Sometimes it's a step approach or even a slope approach that you have to take on to grow yourself in your career. Taking accountability. Sometimes if things go wrong, you have to say, I take accountability. I'm responsible for this. But it's not only for the mistakes. It's also for things such as if you have done very well. We are now on the slide that says get promoted. If you can please move to that slide for us. As I see the slides are back online. Admit your own failures. Take credit where you do well and also take accountability where you do not do well. And then lastly, on that bullet point there, don't neglect your day job. While you are busy building your career, developing yourself, putting yourself out there so that people can see you, you must still do your job well. Otherwise, you'll be unemployed and not have a job. Next slide, please. We can move on. Choosing your career. If you have no idea what it is that you want to become, you first and foremost have to explore the fields that you are passionate about. What is it that you actually like doing? Do you like working with people? Do you like working by yourself? Do you like figures? What is it that you like? Then you need to utilize your skills. Once you know what you like, ask yourself, what skills do I need to be able to do this? Please, people, put your voice up.
Please switch off your cameras and mute yourself.
Thank you, Tom.
Mrs. Ten, can you switch camera?
Sesifunda online kanjena manje sharp uma ungenayo le nto le hayi
Hello guys, can you please mute yourself?
Diletha wonke amafayile ke yonke uthini ma okay ma uzolandana
Hello guys, yourself. Mrs. Stein, apologies for that disruption. Cecilia, can you please carry on?
Of course, let's start the slide again. Now the slides are gone again. Oh, we are having lots and lots of problems today. Can we please have a slide presentation back on? Thank you very much. Let's try again. So choosing a career. If you really do not know what you want to become, you first and foremost need to explore the fields that you are passionate about. Ask yourself, what do I actually like doing? Then utilize your skills. Once you know what it is that you really like doing, ask yourself, what skills do I need to be able to do a certain job or go in a specific profession? Make a plan. It will not always be linear. It's more like a dance. Sometimes you go forward, sometimes you go backwards. Sometimes you're going to twirl, sometimes you're going to go fast, sometimes you're going to go slow. Your plan moves up and down linearly. It's not just going straight up to the top all the way. It's normally not that way. And sometimes you have to make many changes to your specific job or your career plan to be able to get where you need to go. You also have to understand that you have to gain experience. You cannot start at the top. You have to gain experience so that you can continue. Prioritize the lifestyle over the job. Be very careful, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes a job title looks very enticing, but when you look at it clearly and very carefully, you find out it's not like it seems to be. It's something totally different. And don't set your expectations too high. Be very realistic. What is it that you really can achieve within a specific time frame? And then go for that. Next slide, please. So, what job would suit me? If you're a very creative person, maybe a career in the media or digital, fashion or beauty. If you have excellent organizational skills, maybe a career in project management, event planning, even accounting. If you like helping people, maybe a career in healthcare, looking after children or looking after the elderly. If you're a practical person, maybe a career in construction or manufacturing. If you are a logical-minded person, very clear, and you like solving problems, then become an architect or even an engineer. If you are a person that's an extrovert, that likes going out and talking to people, then maybe a career in sales, recruitment, and marketing would work for you. So, what are transferable skills? Transferable skills are those core skills that you have that you have obtained over a long period of time, and you get them through experience and from trial and error, such as listening skills, time management skills, leadership skills, communication skills, even presentation skills. So why are they important? Because it tells you that if you have skills that you can transfer from one career to another career, or even from one profile to another profile if you become promoted, those transferable skills are the things that tell you what it is that you bring to that specific profession. It shows you what is a good fit for you, but it will also tell you where you've got gaps so that you can go and fill those gaps. Hard and soft skills. Hard skills are those skills that you normally train for. You physically go into a class and you learn how to do certain things like computer skills and proofreading. But those things are easy to put out there and to tell people about. But the ones that people often forget when they sell themselves to grow, to become promotable, is the soft skills. By working with others and obtaining experience, you develop many, many soft skills, and some of them you are very, very good in. And those could be things such as perseverance, problem solving, being able to adapt to other people. And those are things that you have to tell people about. You can say to them, you know what, my problem solving skills are very good. I can look at a problem and come up with many solutions. Next slide, please. So, 5 tips to guarantee career progression. Looking to move up. Don't miss out. You must look out for opportunities. You must put yourself in the right place at the right time. People will not create that for you. You have to create places and times so that you can put yourself out there and say, this is me, people. Look at the skills that I have obtained. I am promotable. You have to put yourself out there. Take the blame and the praise. If you did something wrong, take accountability for it. If you did something fantastic, say thank you very much. That's me. I did this. Up your game. You have to know things will not come to you on a plate. You have to go out there and become competitive and fight for the things that you want in your career. Change your career, fight for the training so that you can go on the necessary training so that you can move forward. You have to play fair. Be very careful that you do not involve yourself in office politics and office gossiping. Those things normally come back and they bite you when you least can afford it. So when people start gossiping or when they talk or play office politics, remove yourself from that. You are much better than that. You also need to speak up. Make yourself visible at all times. Check in, be part of everything, and stop settling. If your career path that you have set out for you is to go in a specific direction, but in the organization where you are currently in, your job is terminal, there is no other option for you to go forward. It's time for you to realize that you need to move on. You need to go somewhere else. So, what are the things that you need to do to effectively plan your career? You first and foremost have to identify what are your career options. Where can you go? What is it that you need to grow in? Then you have to prioritize them. First, maybe do a skills course and see, do I really like this as a career? Then from there, do a full qualification. Make comparisons between different jobs that will do the same or similar work. Consider other factors such as, what will this job demand from me? What will this profession demand from me? Will this be okay? Am I okay with working long hours? I can assure you that your medical staff didn't realize that in January that they will be working 24 hours a day while we're in this pandemic. And those are things that you have to realize about the type of job or profession that you choose. Then you have to make your choice. Then Once you've decided this is the path that I want to take, you have to set yourself SMART goals. And by SMART, I mean very specific. They must be very measurable and they must be time bound. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to evaluate them. You have to create your action plan. And ladies and gentlemen, that action plan need to be entertained by you every single day. You need to focus on it. You need to work it. You need to change it. You need to adapt it so that you are constantly on a path, focusing on your end result where you want to be in 5 or 10 years from now. And if all of those things do not work for you, then maybe you should go and see a career advisor, somebody that can give you different options, help you with your career going forward. Next slide, please. So it's very important that in this process that you look at setting a proper career for yourself. Have specific goals. Like we said in the previous slide, your goals must be extremely measurable. You must be very positive about reaching those specific goals and be very realistic. Give yourself enough time and enough finance to be able to reach them. And then put up your action plan and be flexible. Sometimes things do not work out the way you wanted them to work out. So what are you going to do? How are you going to change? This lockdown and pandemic has changed a lot of our priorities. And sometimes it's very good for you, next slide, to prioritize again, to revisit your plan of action of where you want to be and where you think you should be right now. But what you should remember is, don't be negative. Think about how are you going to work with what you have and be very realistic about it and say to yourself, okay, so 2020 happened. How am I going to revisit where I need to go? How am I going to change my plan of action so that I can still move forward? We're not going to sit back and say, oh, no, now I cannot move forward anymore. I need to be flexible. I need to go and set new goals for myself. And then from there, very importantly, how do you stick to your plan? You've spent so much time and energy developing this plan. Now, how do you stick to it? You have your plan. You need to work that plan every day, and you need to track your progress. Where are you? You have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, life is not a rehearsal. It happens right now. And you sometimes need to rework your plan. You need to reprioritize where it is that you can see yourself going forward. And then you have to put blinds on so that you move for that goal that you want to achieve as fast and as clearly as possible. Then, what is in it for me to track my plan? By tracking and evaluating your plan on a constant basis, daily, weekly, or bi-weekly, you are taking control of your life and where it is that you are going. That will allow you to know where you are now and where you are going. And it helps you to stay more focused. Something that you also have to remember is, if you go to linkedin.opportunities and then for Microsoft, you will find that there are 15 jobs that have been created, especially over the next 5 years, where millions of people across the world need to be trained in. So if you really don't know whether your job is or your profession that you have chosen is relevant, go and visit linkedin.opportunities at Microsoft so that you can evaluate where you are going against those jobs that have been created. There are 15 of them. And what is nice about it is they also offer you an opportunity to study free, gratis verniet, in those specific careers. And the only part that you need to pay for is your actual examination. Are there any questions? Tabu, are there any questions?
Just a reminder to everyone, please, guys, you can post your questions on the chat function on the right. Yes, Cecilia, I have one question. Right?
Yes.
Let's take for somebody who is studying a diploma, right?
Yes.
What's the next step they can take to study further after a
Well,
diploma?
if they've studied a diploma and they want to carry on from there, they can ask themselves two questions. Is a diploma enough? And then if the answer is yes, they don't need to study any further. But if it's not and they need a degree, then they can go and study at a university or a provider that offers careers for them to go and study a degree further. But what one must remember is a qualification is not everything. Sometimes work experience have got more value. So once you've got your fundamental certificate or diploma, it is very good for you to first go and work in that specific profession to find out, do I like this? Before you spend lots and lots of pots of money studying a degree. Not that I have anything against studying a degree, just make sure that you choose the right one and that you don't just study a degree for studying's sake. That's a waste of money.
Yes, definitely a waste of money. Another question is, how do I find out that I actually like a specific field? For example, do I like working with people or do I like working with computers? That type of thing.
Yes, it's a very relevant question. Is you have to ask yourself, what type of personality are you? Do you like working by yourself? Do you like working with other people? Do you like figures? Do you like work where you go out and meet people? You have to ask yourself those types of pertinent questions. And because it doesn't help you if you're a person that likes working by yourself and you say, now I'm going to go into projects. Because in projects you work with many other people all the time and it might not be a suitable career. Or if you don't like the sight of blood, don't become a nurse.
Yes.
You just have to be very honest with yourself, Tabu, so that you know exactly what it is that you like and what is it that you dream about. You know that you're in the right position where when you've done something and it's right, you say, yes, I know that. I enjoyed working in human resources a lot in my life. It's the one place where I found that if you do something for somebody, you can almost instantly see them bloom and become a better version of themselves. And that made me feel very good inside. But there are people that will say to me, oh no, I will never work with other people like that. I don't like that. Give me figures. Then go into finance.
Yeah. Yes. Reminder to everybody, guys, please, you can post your questions on the chat function on the right, so we can discuss them here. I've got a question from Nosipo Damuka. She says, how do I improve my communication skills?
She wants to improve her communication skills?
Yes.
How
does she improve her communication skills?
Okay. Sometimes it's not something that always comes naturally to people. Some people have a gift of a gap and they're just very good in communication. But for the rest of us, there are courses that you can attend in how you communicate, whether it's live, one-on-one communicating with other people, or whether it's communicating via email, letter writing, and so forth. There are courses that you can attend, and I'm sure Academy of York also has such courses where you can learn the basics of it. But having worked for such a long time in my life, when you struggle with communication, you physically have to put yourself out there and talk to people, communicate, and look at people that are doing it good, and then role play yourself onto them so that the things that about their way of communicating, you make note of that so that you can practice that. I would say even practice it in the mirror so that you can start communicating like they do. Role play them, but also attend courses if you possibly can.
Oh, definitely.
You know, Tabu, if I can just add on to it, communication is one of the 15 skills that Microsoft have researched that they say is going to be one of the most important things that you need for the jobs of the future. Your ability not only to communicate by talking, but communicate by writing memos and writing emails and things like that. It is very, very crucial, especially if you want to go for a managerial job and half of your staff are working from home and half of your staff are in the workplace. How do you communicate differently to make sure that everybody understand what they are supposed to be doing by a certain time?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Definitely. Very good one.
Yes.
Another question here from Betas. They're saying, what qualification do you recommend for operation management advancement?
Well, it depends on what type of operation management you're talking about. I would go and do a general career or even do a career in project management with a lot of financial background added to it. So, because that's actually operation management is a form of project management. So I would suggest that you do a skills program in project management to first find out whether or not you like that type of work. And then if you do, then go and do a course in project management or even in administration. There's a lot of paperwork related to that type of position. So look at those things.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Just a reminder again, guys, please share your questions on the chat function on the right. Let me see. Oh, another reminder, please switch off your cameras to avoid disturbance and distractions. Okay, let me see another question. Another question from Sam Kumalo. If I want to be a chief security, what course can I take?
Okay, if you want to be in security, Sam, there's two things that are very important here. You need to take a course in security. There are a qualification in security that you can complete. You can get into contact with Academy of York. They can put you in the right direction and even register you for a position in security. And something else when it comes to security that you also have to look at is health and safety. Those two things go hand in hand, but I would suggest that you do a diploma in security management, and that would be a very good place for you to start. Also take note that there might be a learnership that is available for you when you are interested in security, where you first complete a learnership and then go into security. But Sam, you just need to make sure that you ask yourself, what type of security am I looking at? There are different types of security.
Thank you. I think that will be very helpful for Sam. He's also saying thank you for answering this question.
It's a pleasure, Sam.
Just another point, guys. The slides and the video to the presentation will be emailed to you, right? We'd like to also apologize for the glitch earlier on regarding the presentation. Please keep your questions coming. Let me see. Let me check for another one. From Cecilia Madondo. How do I know I chose the correct career in life?
What a beautiful name do you have, Cecilia? You know, this is a very difficult question, as it's not, one sometimes think you've chosen the right career, and then later on in life you realize, but now I'm stuck here and I don't know. You have to ask yourself a fundamental question. Are you happy doing that work? Because if the answer is yes, you are normally in a career that is suited to you. But remember, there are many different careers out there that you can be happy in. And one should constantly be asking yourself, is there anything else I still want to do in my working life? Is there any place I still want to grow? Never stop growing. You have to continuously grow, grow, grow. And then when you reach your retirement age, which is 65 at the present stage, you still have 10 to 15 years that you can work. So even then, when you get to a pensionable age, can you grow? I just read last week about a gentleman that got his degree, his first degree, at the age of 96. So there's hope for all of us. If he can get a degree at 96, we all can still grow a lot more. So the question is, are you happy? Are you satisfied doing what you're doing? Does it once in a while make you feel good inside? Because if that is so, then you are in the right career.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Just a reminder, guys. Please mute yourself. Mute yourself. Okay, I've got another question here. Let me see. It was a very good question. Very nice one.
Oh, when you smile like that, I wonder.
Okay. Where is it? Oh yes, from Mr. From just disappeared. Okay, yeah. I'm currently a health and safety officer, but I would like to become a fireman. I'm 30 years of age. Does age make a difference in career change?
It sometimes does, depending on what you want to become. But if you're 50 years old, you will be too. If you want to become a fashion model, that will be too late, because they look for youngsters 16 to about 25 years old. But if you are a health and safety officer now and you want to become a fireman, no, that is not too late. It is never too late to change in that type of job. If you now want to become a fireman, you can, there is short courses as well as a qualification that you can obtain. You know that you have to become very healthy and fit doing that type of job. You know that you will sometimes have to go into dangerous situations to sort out a fire. But you know what? If that is where your passion lies now, the fact that you've been a health and safety officer will come you in good stead, as a lot of the things that you will have to look out for as a fireman will now become a reality for you and will play out on a daily basis. Are the electricity switched off? Are there people that are hurt? How will I assist them? And so forth. Just one thing about being a fireman that you have to remember. It might not be a job that you can do from 9 to 5. You'll be working different shifts. And when a fireman is needed, that's when the job starts. So sometimes you will be sleeping at night at the fire station, and then a call will come in 3 o'clock in the morning. You can't say, listen, I'm sleeping now, I'm tired. That's when you have to get up and you have to go and save some people's lives. So it's a different environment, but if that is what will make you happy, then that is where you should go. And your year of being 50 years old should not be something that stands in your way. But you just have to note that you will be required to start at the bottom and work yourself up.
I think that's a very good answer. I have a question from Beliswa. I'm an HR practitioner currently. I want to be a labor relations manager. Have I chosen the right career because I registered with Academy of York doing labor relations diploma, Or do I need to do another qualification after this one?
And you are on the right track. By doing a diploma in labor relations, you are now getting a very clear scope as to exactly what a labor practitioner is going to do. As a labor practitioner is just one facet of being a human resource person. Labor relations and industrial relations is one facet of HR. And if that is where your passion lies, where you work with rules and regulations and making sure that people comply and making sure that the organization comply, then studying a diploma through for instance, Academy of York is the right place to go. What you need to remember about this is you need to remember that if you want to become a labor practitioner going forward, you might need to take your labor relations diploma, take the skills that you've obtained there and go and register for a degree and also get recognition of prior learning for what you've already done at Academy of York so that you can start at your second year on a degree going forward. But it's always good to start with a diploma to see, is this really what I want to do with my life? And then go and work with a labor practitioner where you do a lot of research for them. Because being a labor practitioner, there's a lot of research that you have to do on a daily basis to assist your different clients and to help them win their cases at the CCMA or the Labour Court. And then if you decide, this is my passion, this is where I want to be for the next 20 odd years, then you can register with a reputable university, get recognition for what you've obtained from Academy of York, and study from your second year onwards. So nothing is wasted.
Yes. That's a very good one. I think she really appreciate the answer, right? Mrs. Stein, can you please switch off your camera? And Judy. Mrs. Stein, please switch off your camera, and Judy. Thank you. I've got another question from Innocent. I'm in my early 40s and I always wanted to be in the field of healthcare. I feel it's too late. How can you advise on that one? She's in her 40s.
Okay. You know what? It's never too late. You might not want to or have a gut to start a degree right now and start right at the bottom as a nurse. But there are other fields of healthcare that you can be part of. You can just study and be a shorter course and become a nurse's assistant, or you can study or go and work in a clinic, or you can go and work in a healthcare environment where you look after the elderly or you look after the disabled. So there are other options other than starting from scratch right at the bottom. You just have to find what is available for you and what would interest you. As some people like working with elderly people, then go and work in an old age home where you can take care of many people on a regular basis and you don't always need a formal qualification for that. You just have to ask yourself, where can I be? But don't let age ever be the criteria that stops you. If you are prepared to start at the bottom, go and study. What would you have done if you didn't study? What would you have done if you studied? So let age not be the final criterion as to why you should not follow your dream. It might just take you longer to get there because I assume that you'll be working and studying. But if that is your passion in life and you've realized it only now, don't let age stand in your way.
Yes. Age is never a stumbling block, if I can say that.
Should be. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. You're never too old for new information, to learn something.
I learn something new every day, Tabu.
Yes. Another question here. It says, how to improve my English?
How to improve my?
English. As in, improving their vocabulary and communication, because they took a life coach course and they like talking and they want to improve themselves. How do they do that?
From experience, I know that there's 3 things that you should do. First and foremost, to improve your English, I will learn a new word every day from your dictionary to help you expand on the words that you can use in that specific language. It could be any language. It doesn't have to be English. Secondly, you must speak it every single day. And if you can't speak it to others, then at least you must hear it. So put the radio on where they're speaking English. And I would always suggest that you attend a course, but it's not a course like a formal training course where you attend and then you're gone. It's a long-term course where they interact with you. They force you to only speak that language. It takes place over a year, and then you only speak in that language, you write in that language, and they help you with your pronunciation, they help you with your grammar, they teach you new words, they teach you the whole etiquette of a specific language so that you can speak it better. And you know, English is very important in the South African context because that is the language of a world of work. So you really want to try and make your English as best you can. What is also very good for you to do is speak to yourself and record it on your phone and play it back so that you can hear yourself as well. And then you have to speak it and you have to hear people speak it around you. Otherwise you lose it.
Yes. Practice definitely makes perfect. You know. Wow. We left with about a minute now, and I can see the questions are coming in heavy and hard. So thank you. It was a wonderful presentation. You know, just the last one. Yeah, just the last question. Only the last one. You know.
It's a pleasure.
From Celestina. What qualification do I need to become a secretary?
Okay. A secretary is a terminal position. It's not a position where there's a lot of scope for you in anymore. As people are writing their own letters, people are writing their own memos, they are taking their own notes these days. To become a secretary is not really a very good option nowadays. I don't think there are many places that still offer courses in becoming a secretary unless you want to become a legal secretary. There are still scope in that, and there are places where you can go and study to become a legal secretary, but other types of secretarial work are now done by people themselves in their offices. But what you might be referring to other than just a secretary is there are scope for people that want to be personal assistants to a CEO or to a politician and so forth. And that does include a secretarial work where you'll be typing letters and things like that. So you'll just have to speak to a career advisor, or even if you search it on Google, you will find courses in becoming a personal assistant to somebody. That will include that type of secretarial work, but to become only a secretary right now, that's a terminal position. There's no scope in the future for that type of position.
Yes, that's a very good answer. You know, I trust it's going to help whoever asked that the question. You know, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our presentation today, and on behalf of the whole AOI team and our participants obviously joining us today, I'd like to say thank you for an amazing and insightful topic today, Cecilia. You know, we really enjoyed it, and it felt very relevant to today's time.
Thank you, Tabu. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Cecilia. Just a reminder, guys, on the 29th of August, we're having another webinar. It's on Wednesday. Is part of our Wisdom Wednesday webinars sessions. I hope they come to be very helpful to you guys. You know, thank you for participating today, and thank you for taking your time. You know, for everybody who's saying they're not receiving our notes and the link to the video, please drop your emails on the chat function on the right, and also email me at tabo@aoi.co.za. It has been a very wonderful webinar session. Thank you for joining us. You know,
Thank you, Tabo.
thank you very much. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Don't forget to send or share the presentation.